What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? Just want to talk about something real quick that's been on my mind. I know it's something I said I would address, so I might as well address it. Talking about one night stands, you know? Why they happen. Saying I got a very bad connection. Okay, my connection is back. Hopefully you can hear me. Bad connection again. I don't know, my connection keep going in and out. Anyway, one night stands. This is a theory on why they happen. Just a theory. Like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. But hopefully you can hear me. I think one of the reasons why they happen, like I said, one night stands is objectification. Some, oh, okay, loud and clear. You can hear me. I appreciate it. I feel like it's not gonna skip a beat though. Here we go. All right, loud and clear. One night stands. Let's try this again. I think the reason one night stands happen is because of objectification. Objectification meaning that you're focusing solely on the physical, or maybe you just focus on what a person can do for you. So you get with an individual, based off of whatever intangibles or whatever physical attributes they have, or whatever you may feel like they can do for you down the line. And I think the objectification, of that person, be it through sex or through lust, or whatever power you perceive that person can get from this encounter, causes people to forget one key thing, that people have personalities, that we have different interests, and if you don't line up or align with the interests, it could turn into a situation where it was just a fling. It was just a situation where we jumped into bed, we got hot with each other, we did what we did, and that was that. So my thing is, I think at least in theory, that one night stands happen because of objectification of a physical nature, at least from a male standpoint, or maybe a sense of power from a female standpoint. What that person may be able to do for them. Can that person pay my rent or pay my bills, or do they have an opportunity that I could capitalize on based off this one night experience. And sometimes that is the case, but then I think it's a situation where after a time when you're dealing with somebody, if things don't match up, if you don't see eye to eye, if you don't have the same values, then people kind of fall apart. And sometimes it happens in that one particular night, hence the one night stand. You can have sexual relations with somebody and then realize that right after, what, hey, maybe this person didn't match up with me religiously. Maybe this person, yeah. Melanie says so true. Christine says one night stands are either like a catfish online. It's just that a person's way of playing mind games. I feel sorry for them. It could be that. It could definitely be that. But I feel like one night stands come from realizing that after you've done the thing that you came to do, the physical part of it, that the person, you and them have nothing in common. So if you realize that night that you and that person don't have much in common, or there's nothing more to the relationship than the sex, or than that particular encounter, it becomes a one night stand, a fling. I think one night stands come from realizing that you don't have much in common with the person past the physical. And that's just my theory on it. Like I said, some of you could let me know what you think about one night stands out there yourselves. But I feel like it's almost like a work relationship. How you come together with people because that you have certain things that you're trying to do for that particular moment in time. But after you clock out and the shift is over, unless you really have something other than that work in common, you're really not trying to bond with each other. You're not trying to be in any relationships outside of that. And I think that's what happens a lot of times with the sex. People base relationships on sex, objectify each other based off physical appearance, which is something people can do. Not all situations like that wind up in one night stands. Hindsight has a lot to answer for itself. True, it does. And I mean, hindsight is 2020. Vinji says, when I was younger, I formed a real good relationship with my so-and-so. I'm not going to read the rest of that. I'm not going to read the rest of that comment, but that was funny. That was funny. All I can say is that I believe there are other factors that attribute to one night stands, but sometimes you can really go into a situation with somebody where you feel like, you know what, this is going to be a long lasting relationship. This is going to be something worthwhile. But sometimes you find yourself in a situation realizing that you don't have much in common with the person. You just had an attraction. Benji says, I think that one night stands are selfish from both parts. One night stands can be selfish. They could be, and then there's disease. Yeah, I agree with that, Benji. There's also disease, but you can't let that go. Melanie says, I think a lot of people just don't want commitment or put in real work to maintain a relationship. Yeah, I agree with that too. I definitely agree with that too. One night stands definitely come from that. I definitely believe that, but that comes into, I personally, I believe that it's a focus on the objectification aspect of it. That people put too much emphasis on the physical. Empty promises, full of sick actions. Maybe you have to explain that one. Tonight they don't want me to talk about one night stands. My connection keep going in and out. Melanie, okay, depends on what the commitment is by people, or put folks in a one-dimensional box, or to say that people are only useful for this thing, or this person will never be on my level when it comes to that thing. But really, sometimes interests just don't match up. Sometimes folks are just too different. Religiously, you could be different. Politically, you could be different. Socially, congrats, Benji. Yeah, people have to choose and follow through what they commit to. A lot of people have false promises and commitments. They don't honor them. Yeah, people have a lot of different honors. A lot of different things that they don't honor. But that comes into the question. What did you really want in the first place? Sometimes when you're dealing in relationships, it may seem like a person wants one thing and they don't. People will tell you sometimes whatever they need to hear. Whatever you need to hear in order to get what they want. Christine says they give up empty promises until they have satisfied their own sick needs and carry and take them on. Well, the truth is, people play games. I know I've played games here and there. I try not to, get too crazy and stuff like that. People are not always the most honest and truthful in their endeavors. It comes to situations like that. Benji says, if I ever get divorced, I would never remarry. Well, we're going to make sure you don't get divorced, Benji. We're going to make sure you stay married. Let me see what Melanie was saying. She's saying there's a quote I read. Men use love to get sex. Women use sex to get love. That could be the case. I'm not saying that's not possible. Carl Thomas said that's deep. Yeah, but then I asked the question, is it really love? If that's what people are saying that they're doing, is it really love to say, you know what, I used the L word to get sex, or sex to get love? Benji says, never could I commit again, as people don't like bringing up memories, and memories would affect the new partner. Yeah, no, definitely. I think marriage is a one-time thing, especially, if it was a long marriage and stuff like that. But I've never been married before, so I'm not gonna start trying to give out marriage advice. People gonna start slaying me in the chat room. But I can only speak on one night stands and stuff like that. Melanie says, right, it's the idea that men will lie and pretend to be in love to get sex, and women will sleep with them to get them to fall in love with them. I mean, yeah, you have that. Christine says, I feel sorry for them. They're obviously lacking in some areas. First, they need to show such disrespect. Well, sometimes people haven't been taught. Sometimes people don't know what a real relationship is. Sometimes people don't know how to be upfront. Sometimes people don't know how to, commit to a situation or express their true feelings. Sometimes, we're in a society where, like I said, people, are taught to over sexualize things and objectify, people, especially as men. You get taught, that it's okay to objectify women. It's okay to see them as objects of sex and to corrupt them and, to be, overly lustful with them, in order to get what you want. I hate to say it, but a lot of men do lie to get what they want, you know. Benji says there are four things that make a marriage work: trust, love, sex, and money. And one of those elements is missing, it will fail. Well, I don't think money is the most important, but I guess if you don't have money, you can't do a lot of different things. But if it's all about the money, then that's something else there too, you know. And I think sometimes you have people in one night stands, you know, they're probably looking for a come up. Maybe they want to score a baby, or probably get a job, or put themselves in a position of power or something like that. Who knows? But my main theory on it is that it's a sense of objectification that causes people to get caught up in one night stands, and you realize in the interaction that you may not have anything in common with this person, that it was just the sex. So now you're looking for an escape and an exit out of the situation because it was just the sex, or it was just that feeling they gave you emotionally and stuff like that. The objectification could be sex, the objectification could be money, it could be power, sometimes ego, see how many people you could sleep with. You see, what status symbols you wanna have for dealing with certain people and stuff like that. But I do believe it's an objectification that is allowed, that is perpetuated through society with the over sexualization, of men and women, throughout society. Just turn on your TV. I challenge you. Turn on your phone. You'll see images of sex. I can't fathom the idea of one night stands. It takes my good friend. Yeah, some people can't fathom the idea of Vinci of one night stands, but they do happen. Christine says, and they regard themselves as superior ones, and the fact they are exposing themselves and being a fool. At least I stay positive and happy in life. Well, the reality is that this is how some people just get down. Some people may just want to just want the sex. So what happens? You divorce yourself from the emotions of who you're dealing with. Sometimes your own emotions of how you may feel about people. Sometimes people go into situations not really wanting to know folks, just trying to see what they can get out of a situation. And then that leads to, the one night stands or people getting hurt. Benji says, I would rather have a really awesome female friend than let sex ruin it. Yeah, well, you're probably a rare breed in that. Nah, you're not a rare breed. Let me not say a rare breed. You're I guess you're a genuine individual if you feel and think that way. Because there are a lot of people out there who are okay with the promiscuous sex, with the I guess the fast food approach to love or lust, or how people get down. So like I said, kudos to those out there. But like I said, not to judge anybody out there who's having one night stands or jumping around with different people. I mean, you got to be careful because of diseases and stuff like that. I say that. I mean, to each his own. Who am I to judge one? Miss Dabology 710 says, "What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?" Just talking about one night stands. It's a theory. My theory is that one night stands happen for those people that are just coming in. My theory is just that one night stands happen because of our objectification, of men or women. Vinji says, "I love many women, but I love them because they were good friends." Hey, that's what's up. Kudos to you. you know. But there was some people that were just looking for the person that was right for that moment. Maybe they weren't looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right, you know. You're just looking to lay in the sack with whoever you can, to get your score up. And sometimes the sad part is that people lie, you know. What's up, Eagle VP? I see you in here. I still got to check out your one-to-one, but I'm just talking about one night stands. Yeah, they just wanted to get that good 710, and unfortunately, people are not really honest when it comes to that, you know. Folks will lie, they'll pretend, they'll spin you in a game, they'll play dangerous games to get what they want sexually from you. And that's crazy, you know. I mean, yeah, you know. But it's not like being straight up, it's in people's MO anyway. Vinji says these days privileged people think that sex makes them entitled to your soul. Yeah. You definitely have people that feel that way, but what entitles a person to your soul? Hopefully not sex, I remember one night I was talking to Just Us, another YouTube subscriber. We was talking about soul ties and how sex binds people and stuff like that. That was definitely a deep conversation. And that's how we got to the one night stand thing. Like I said, there are different reasons why people have one night stands and whatnot. Eagle VP says it's better when you're in love with someone. Yes, it is better when you're in love with someone. But the reality is everybody that has sex with people are not in love with each other. That would be a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a world where people lie, where people cheat, where people deceive, defraud and put people through all kind of emotional distress, mental and physical pain or whatever you want to call it. All because maybe, that's just what they cared about. Like I said, and my theory on it is just that, it comes from, a willingness in society to objectify, people. Christine says people generally end up finding themselves sad and alone in the later years. It's all about selfishness. Yeah, you can say a lot of it is all about selfishness. Vinji says the reason for the one night stand is the adrenaline of the hunt, but the hunter usually regrets it in the morning after the walk of shame. Oh man, if we started talking about walk of shames, there's so many different walks of shame when you're dealing with somebody in a one night stand, at least from what I've heard. But yeah, it's crazy, it's crazy, but the reality is it's encouraged, like I said, watch your favorite shows or, internet series or, DVDs, movies or whatever, and you'll see, the Playboy debonair individual, chasing after the woman and, sleeping around and doing that particular thing. And like I said, to each his own, because a lot of ways we romanticize stuff like that. But the truth is it happens, The truth is we encourage it. The truth is it's entertaining in a lot of ways. And it perpetuates through the society, But like I said, who am I? Who am I? This is just a theory on why it happens. I'm not saying anybody's evil or wrong or bad for having a one night stand or doing whatever they have to do. If that's where you want to go with it, be honest about what you're walking into. And a lot of people are probably not. I can't tell you how many people I've heard or seen lie about what they particularly want in order to have sex, in order to get that one night stand, in order to make themselves feel good, in order to escape some type of pain or some type of stress that they were going through. It's kind of crazy, what lengths people will go through, just to, go after that adrenaline or to be on the hunt, as Vinji would say. Some people just love the thrill of the hunt, Benji says, I have seen young guys on here on Tinder that get a young lady and call them to buy KFC on the way and never speak to them again. That's interesting. What is it Melanie saying? Let me go back to your comment. Melanie says, I think more people need to learn to separate fiction from reality. Movies are never an accurate representation. Everything is also glamorized. Well, things are overly hyped and overly sexualized. I mean, pornographic thoughts and things that come and encouraged throughout society. It's a part of it. And people not understanding the fiction from the reality, or not understanding what a real relationship is, as opposed to what's just sex or what's just lust, you know, equating it one and the same, it becomes an issue, because my thing is people going to do what they're going to do, you know. Everything is glamorized, as Melanie said. I mean, I believe things are overly sexualized. That's why it gets objectified because people are probably not taught how to have particular relationships. And then when you add the technology aspect of it, it's easy to get real freaky and real nasty online and do different things. I know that. You can find whatever you're looking for. Melanie says the movies never show the negative consequences of one night stands, but it's all glamorous. But see, why not? Why wouldn't it be all glamorous? Because if you show the negative consequences of it, then that's no fun. And Melanie says, and usually the couple ends up in love together in the end. But that's a part of the fairy tale. That's a part of the Hollywood magic. I go out there and I sleep with 100 women. I'm a hero. I deserve a statue in my honor. But the reality is people are not thinking about diseases that certain people have put in other live streams, how I talk about, you could risk getting somebody hurt or cheating on somebody, breaking up a home. Yeah, Eagle VP, Melody, a couple of you said selfishness is a part of it. Yeah, definitely I say it's some selfishness that's there. People are lovers of themselves more than other folks, only wanting what they want. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to preach to nobody. I'm not trying to strike nobody down, but the reality is there are negative consequences to it. I mean, I don't know what positives really come from a one night stand other than getting yours off, yeah, but you got to say what you got to say, Melanie. The reality is though, people do get hurt from one night stands. A lot of people get hurt more often than you think, you know. Nanobot says computers and cell phones have enslaved people. Yes, I agree. I agree. It has enslaved people. It's caused people not to be able to communicate with each other in a real way. Not to have proper relationships. But sometimes that's just really what we're looking for. We're looking for an escape. We're looking for a way to just separate. I think it comes from a breakdown in communications. Comes from a selfishness. It comes from a lack of love for yourself, for other people. A breakdown of morality. A lack of understanding. As far as human connection. Benji, okay, says, oh, he's talking to Melody. Okay, somebody, you got a new sub, Melanie. You got definitely a new sub. Anybody out there, check out Melanie's channel. She has a great channel. She does videos every Monday, so she's definitely somebody to check out. And she does the occasional videos any other time during the week. But I think there's a breakdown, in society as far as how folks should deal with each other. Nanobot says in the 90s we used to be so productive as a people, and now some people have turned into zombies. Some people can't stay away from their cell phones. The Eagle VP says it just sub Melanie. Yeah, Melanie's is a great channel. Go sub her, check her out. Very, very cool human being and whatnot. What I'm saying? Down to earth individual. But people do have this disconnect, There's a selfishness that goes on, as some people said. There's technology that's an aspect to it, how folks become like zombies, certain things become important to folks while other things are not. Yeah. Well, yeah, she does have a video. Melanie does have some videos where she talks about sex and things that of that nature. You should definitely check it out. I saw that video. I saw one of those. She has a couple of videos that you should check out. Me and her did a video on race that you should check out. Christine says, Mel, you're fab in the spring version of it. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I don't know about the Springer version, but I'll take some Springer money. Nanobot these days, the kids act to entitled. They don't want to sort of, okay, yeah, you're talking about something else. But yeah, like I said, I think there's an objectification that happens. Um, oh, she's talking about the Eagle VP. I think there's an objectification that happens. I think there's a breakdown of society as far as how we should see each other and treat each other as human beings. You know, um, it comes to a point in relationships. What do you want out of life? If you want the one night stands, then maybe this live stream or this message, or even exploring how the negative effects of it is not for you. And I respect that. I respect folks that say, you know what, I want to be promiscuous and I want to live my life and I want to do what I want to do. I get it. Some people out there don't want to be committed. Some people out there don't want to have, you know, one woman or one man or one situation. Sometimes you want to have a team of women or a team of men and women that you know, do your thing with. And to each his own. Who am I to judge you? Who am I to tell you you can't? I could judge you, but, like I said, I'm not perfect myself. I mean, to anybody I say out there, though, that is having any one night stands or having any promiscuous, behavior that you do, things that you partake in, I tell you to be safe, because there's the negative side to it, and the negative side to it is the disease. There are many people out there who don't get properly tested. There are many people out there who don't know a person's status, and it's like somebody said in another subsequent live stream on this. You get caught up in the moment. People look tantalizing and they look nice and they smell right and they're saying all the right things. So if you have to have a one night stand, I say to folks, make sure you have contraceptive. Make sure you know the places to go. Make sure you have somebody you can call. Make sure you have a designated driver. Make sure you're in a situation where you're not putting yourself in harm's way, just to get pleasure. Because you can put yourself out there for one night of pleasure and have a lifetime of pain. Be mindful of the fact that, hey, you may wind up with a baby from a one night stand. Then, there's people that, do the whole abortion thing, but, that's a personal decision whether you want to go with that, because whether you have the baby or you don't have the baby, your life will be altered. So there's so many different things that happen that come about from when you have sex, even if it's just a one night stand, a committed relationship, or you're cheating on the side. Everything has consequences to it. And I think a lot of times we forget that as people, that these things have real consequences. And it's not just an emotional, thing. We think, okay, the person is just emotional because they're not with us. Melanie says that's very true. Your life will be altered either way, and there's always consequences. Yeah, there's always consequences. We may not feel that way. We may not always believe it, but there's consequences to everybody's actions. It's like my mother always told me. I remember we had this conversation, one time, I think I was 16, and she was saying that when you have sex with somebody, regardless of the relationship, things change, and I add to that now, even if it's just a one night stand, things change, Yeah, it is a very multifaceted subject, Christine, I say, because you're talking about issues of, safety. You're talking about issues of disease. You're talking about issues of feelings. You're talking about, just a vulnerability that comes with sharing yourself with somebody sexually. It's not just, okay, we, bang, bang, and that was that. Because you never know what another person may really have wanted out of that situation. There's a lot of things that people accept when it comes to a one night stand. There may be people that have low self-esteem and they accept a one night stand because they know in any other, standpoint or situation, maybe, this person wouldn't have dealt with them. There's a lot of people that deal with folks in the dark, that deal with folks late night hours that they wouldn't walk the street with, and that's a one night stand. Or that's a late night creep or a booty call or whatever you want to call that. Sometimes it is just one night, sometimes it's multiple nights, but you can group it in there with that as well. The side women or the side pieces, the side man, they're side men. Yes, there are side men. A lot of you guys on the side. Let's not act like you're not. But, there's consequences and repercussions to being on the side, to be laying in the cut, to doing those particular things. Yes, Melanie, there's side man. Bang, bang, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Yes, 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 definitely, definitely. And my thing is like, you know, folks are gonna do what they're gonna do. I'm not here to try to stop anybody. I'm not here to tell anybody you can't have a one night stand. I'm not here to try to encourage people to have one night stands. What I'm trying to say is be aware of the consequences that come from it. You know, be aware of the drama and things that can happen. I'm just, saying a theory on why I think they happen. Maybe it's more to it than what I'm saying, but I believe that there's a strong objectification to what's going on. And I think, ways to combat that is to understand the reality, or like Melanie says, to separate the fact from the fiction, and you separate the fact from the fiction, I believe, by really understanding what true relationships are. Even if you're going to go out there and have a one night stand, today, at least understand what a real relationship is. A relationship that's nurturing, that's loving, that's caring, that's kind, that's forgiving, that's trusting, that's loving. So at least you know the difference. Because my biggest thing about people having one night stands is them not knowing the difference. My thing is, if you're going to have a promiscuous relationship, understand what monogamy is, understand what a normal relationship looks like. If you want to go out there and you want to have sex with 10 or 12 different people on a nightly basis, or, on a weekly basis, whatever it is, however you do your thing, that's your business. But know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fooled. Know when you're in a situation and it's just about sex, be it if it's just about money, be it if it's about power, be it if it's about love, lust. Understand what you're doing. And I think a lot of times when it comes to one night stands, when it comes to relationships, a lot of people don't take the time out to learn. There's too many people that think they know everything, and they got it all figured out. I'm grown, and it's my body. I do what I want to do. Yeah, you can do what you want to do, but when you do what you want to do, remember there are people that feel like they could do what they want to do with you and to you. You know. Melanie said the sad part is that many people don't have a good example of monogamous relationships, and let me see the rest of that, to look to, and all they know is unhealthy relationships because of what they've been exposed to experience. Yeah, that's true. But I say there are examples out there. Even if it's not in your family, you may know a friend. You may know somebody religiously. You may know somebody, even if you have to Google it and search for it, there are examples of it. But you have to be wanting to search for it. The answers are out there, like X Factors. The truth is out there. The truth is out there. The answers are out there, but sometimes we have to be willing to see it. Because I've had people around me who have been in monogamous relationships, old timers and people that I've met, people that have decent relationships. The thing is, the people don't have to be related to you. I don't have to see you every day and be around you to know what a monogamous relationship is like. Eagle VP in a book called the Bible. Oh, you're getting deep. Oh, if you want to get religious, yes, it definitely is. It definitely is. Christine says a prime example is the film Knocked Up, starring Katherine Heigl. Yeah, she's not my favorite actress, but yeah, that's definitely, something to check out. But there are movies, there are documentaries, there are aids, there are programs, there are support groups. Definitely, religious groups, if that's what you're into, whatnot. The spiritual aspect of it is definitely a key, to showing folks what a true, real relationship may look like. Some people may disagree with that. The source of all love. I hear that. And that's definitely something that's relevant and whatnot. Because if you look at it from a spiritual context, there is a way that man is supposed to be with a woman. But like I said, there's some people who don't agree to that, and I'm not saying that you have to, but there's definitely some principles and things like that that would benefit you to know, about love, about trust, about honor, respect. And my thing is just to understand the principles because, each day we're faced with choices. You know, life, death, good, evil, who you want to be. You know, you're faced with the choice whether or not you want to be in a monogamous relationship or you want to be in a promiscuous relationship. My thing is just know the difference, know when you're in a situation where things could go left and the consequences. And I think too many people don't understand the consequences of their actions and are not willing to understand the consequences of their actions. What's going on, lovely kid Japan? I was just talking about one night stands, why they happen or how it's possible for them to happen. It's a theory that I have on the objectification and over sexualization of people, of relationships in a negative light or in a promiscuous light, if you want to say that, because some people don't feel like there's negativity attached to it, but like I said, folks could do what they want to do, but I know there are negative consequences to one night stands. I'm not going to act like they're not, with diseases and different things that could come about. So my thing to anybody out there is just really be aware, be aware of what you're doing, be aware of the type of relationship you have, be aware of a person's status sexually, be aware of contraceptives, things that you need to do to be safe, making sure that you're in a safe environment, understanding who you're around, being careful if there's any drug use, involved in that particular situation that you're in. I remember that they talked about the girl in Chicago not too long ago, the one that was found in the freezer, so, cut up or organs was, harvested in the freezer, I don't know, in a refrigerator. But all I know is she was at a party doing whatever she was doing, and she found herself, in a refrigerator somewhere. This was in Chicago not too long ago. So just be careful who you're out there with. Like I said, sometimes you want to go out and you want to just have fun. But like I said, be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of who you call your friends. Be aware of who you want to sleep with. Because the reality is this, regardless of what I'm saying on this live stream, people are going to do what they're going to do. My thing is, if you're going to do what you're going to do, be safe. Melanie says it's good to have a buddy system when you go out, someone to look out for you. Yeah, you want to have that, because the reality is people are going to live the lives that they choose to live, regardless of what a good relationship is or what it isn't. My thing is to still be safe. My thing is to know your own status in a relationship, from a disease standpoint, and if you can, know the other person's status. I think that was the conversation me and another YouTuber were having the other night, just us, about how you get caught up in the moment. She was saying that you should get somebody and give your status and they give you their status. My husband is the best samurai in the world. Yeah, but see, that's the key. That's your husband. You're faithful to him. You're together. You love each other. So you have a commitment that you honor with each other, which is a beautiful thing. Lovely kid Japan, beautiful thing, beautiful family you have. But there's some people out there who want to live different lives. And like I said, they shouldn't be judged by any other particular person for that. But if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna do what you do, know the consequences. You're very welcome, lovely kid Japan, lovely family you have out there. Anybody on the live stream, check out Lovely Kid Japan. Has a lovely channel out there. She does beautiful things with her family. Very positive vibes coming from, across the world, in Asia. Very, very lovely people. Her and her husband, kids. Yeah. Nah, definitely. But I say be aware, man. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're doing things and you don't understand the consequences, the repercussions to what you're doing. Oh, you're my bodyguard as well, lovely kid Japan. Thank you, I appreciate that. I probably might need a bodyguard after this year. But like I said, anybody out there that wants to partake in one night stands, just be safe. Just know who you're dealing with. Don't get so caught up in the moment that you forget about diseases, that you forget about contraceptive, that you forget about your safety, because you want to live to see another day. You know, like they say, dead men tell no tales, dead women neither. You know, so you want to be in a situation where, you know, physically you're safe. You know, emotionally you're not scarred up. You're aware of what can happen. It's like they say, you know, you play with fire, you get burned. You know what I mean? So know when you're playing with fire. Know that it can burn you. Know that it can hurt you. Even if it feels good. Even if you're in a situation where, you know what, you had some of the best sex of your life. Know that even with that, there are consequences to it. You may never see that person again. It may be a situation where, you know what, you just had sex and it was what it was. But be careful. Be safe out there. Because things don't always end that way. You know? Sometimes we do find ourselves in a bind. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely Lovely Kid Japan. So, you know, like I said, know your surroundings. Know who you're dealing with. You know, as much as possible, because a one night stand doesn't mean you can really get to know a person the whole way. But who knows? Maybe you have a dope conversation with somebody. You know, maybe it'll turn into a relationship. Who knows? But just be aware of the consequences, really. You know, yeah. Thanks, Lovely Kid Japan. You know, because I know people don't like to be judged and whatnot, and it's you know not right to judge anybody based off their lifestyle because you know people do have you know multiple partners and multiple people that they deal with in multiple situations, and nobody should be judged. This is basically to say, okay, be aware of the consequences. People have different preferences. Me personally, I don't have the energy, you know, to deal with multiple people, multiple days and whatnot. You know. Yeah, yeah. Not judge. Don't judge. Don't judge. I'm not saying I condone it, but I'm not trying to judge it either. You know, at the same time, you know, there's temptation all around. I get it. You know, and it's like Melanie said earlier on in the live stream. Sometimes people really don't understand what a committed relationship is about. The reality is a lot of people out there are not built for that. They're not built for committed relationships. They're not built for, monogamous situations. You know, they don't know. They couldn't deal with it. Yeah, nah, you could definitely help people. Lovely Kid Japan. You could definitely help people. But sometimes, you know what? Some people don't feel like they're lovable. Some people don't feel like, they're marriage material. You know, some people may not understand their worth, their own value. So my thing to that I say is don't feel like you have to be in a situation where you settle for less. Yeah. But sometimes don't understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes people have one night stands because, they feel like, you know what, maybe you can't get a decent relationship. Maybe, there's nobody out there that could love you. Yeah, Melanie says too many people settle. Sometimes people are just having these, one night situations because they settle. And my thing is, if you're doing it just to settle because you don't understand your worth and your value, then I say that's definitely wrong. Aside from the religious aspect and the moral side of it, that is there. Melanie says we accept the love we think we deserve. Exactly. That's a great point. And I think there's somebody for everybody. And I think you shouldn't just have to accept anybody because you don't find that person that's for you at that particular moment. And Pan says, cut off a live stream. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's all good. I get it. I get it. Sorry that the Japanese government is cutting you off my live stream. I might have to come see them. You know what I'm saying? They could come see me. I love Japan though. You know what I'm saying? No beefs over there though. But yeah, you know, I think people shouldn't put themselves in situations where you just accepting and settling. Now, if you want to go out there and have a good time and you want to get your freaky deek on and you just want to have fun for the moment, then be real with that. But don't put yourself in a situation with a one night stand just because you feel like there's nobody out there that could ever love you, that could ever be with you, or that you're not acceptable. You are beautiful. You are worth it if you want to be. you know My thing is, don't just settle for a one night stand because that's the thing to do for the moment. Just because you haven't found that one doesn't mean there isn't one. Yeah, no, definitely, Lovely Kid Japan. We're gonna speak more. We're gonna speak more. I'm around for anybody that wants to collaborate on live streams, on videos and stuff like that. I don't discriminate. You know what I'm saying? I congratulate. You know, but the thing is, as far as these one night stands go, know that you have options. I tell people out there, know that you have options. Know that you don't have to just settle. Now, if that's what you want to do, like I said, you want to get your freak on, that's what it is. Well, Melanie, yeah, you just have to let me know. Hey, what's up, Crimson Fantasy? I'm just talking about one night stands. Just recapping a lot of stuff, saying that my theory on one night stands is a lot of objectification and things that come about it, and it gets lost. Lovely Kid Japan, much deeper. I can't hear or see you, but I'm watching the chat. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for watching me, Lovely Kid Japan, even though you can't see or hear me. Love and peace to you out there. Lovely Kid Japan says, hey, Crim. Okay. But yeah, like I said, as far as these one night stands and stuff like that go, just know to those people out there that you have choices, that you have options. If you want to have a promiscuous situation going on and you want to have fun and you want to do that, know the consequences, know the repercussions of it. Don't just go out there blindly. Don't just jump into the ocean or, any situation, as sometimes we do sometimes in ignorance, even though it is consequences to that as well. Be informed, be aware of how to be safe, even if you're going to have promiscuous, behavior. Know that there's places that you can go, you know. Lovely Kid Japan says she loves your thoughts as well, Melanie. So, like I said, but if there's anybody that has any thoughts on why they think one night stands happen, let me know. Say something in the comments. What do you think, Eagle? What do you think, Krim? That you could let people know again what you think as well, Melanie. Or Carl Thomas. You could let people know what you think as well. I've talked so much. What do you think? To the viewer out there, what do you think causes a one night stand? What do you think? Some ways that you could actually let people know. Look, you know what? Maybe you don't have to settle. Do you feel it's a problem? Or do you feel it's okay? What do you feel? But even if you don't feel like answering here in this chat, maybe you could answer in the comment section below. It's all good. Definitely it's all good. My thing is just having conversation. I don't know. Sometimes I get these deep conversations. Hopefully I'm not taking people off too crazy, getting too serious. But it does happen. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'll probably start wrapping this up. But like I said again, I thank everybody. Eagle VP says I agree with you, Mama. It's all about the lust. Yeah, it could definitely be about the lust. It could definitely be about situations where we just let our physical being overtake everything, and that's what it is. But I say, what do you want? What do you feel? Like I said, in any particular situation, it really comes down to you, the individual. Do you want a promiscuous situation? Do you want a monogamous situation? Are you willing to deal with the consequences and repercussions that come with that? Eagle VP says I would have a couple latte. yeah, I would like a couple latte right now as well. Gotta run out and go get it. But for the most part, I say to folks out there again, be aware, man. Just be aware of what you're doing at any given moment in time. Don't be ignorant of your choices. Don't be ignorant of your options. Don't be ignorant of, what's possible. Know where you stand in any given, particular situation. Like I said, just know you have the choice to have one night stands. You have choices not to. This is next collab. Let's get lattes and talk about life. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely. You just have to let me know when, Melanie. You gotta send me a message or something like that. You know, like I said, I'm willing to collaborate. Anybody out there you want to collaborate with Mel, come through. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. You know, send me a message, hit me up. All right, we'll see. We'll definitely see. Like I said, I spread love, what I'm saying? Not hate, and it's all good. I'm just trying to rock out and vibe out with this. Like I said, I guess this is the part of the live stream where I give the thank yous, the shout outs, the blessings, the pieces, and all this other stuff. This was a heavy conversation, little missteps here, there in the beginning with the live streaming, but that's what it is. Like I said, I'm just grateful to folks that come by, that stop by and show love. What I'm saying? Your support is not lost on me. Yeah, I try to have some great conversations, but I say these conversations are made by you, the viewer, because I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect 5 thumbs up tonight. I didn't expect 6 people to come on the live stream and watch, and 6 people going strong right now. You know, like I said, this is real. This is dope. It's dope when people come through and we could just have a late night conversation or a conversation during the day. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about, what I'm saying, in the comments section below. After this video goes off the air, reshare the video, give it another thumbs up. I got 8 thumbs up. That's a dope situation right there. Like I said, anything that you want to talk about, people out there, you can come hit me up. I don't care what it is. I don't care how deep the conversation is or how controversial the topic is. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about some things. I mean, if we can make it entertaining as well, that'd be good. Christine says I'm knocking the issue. Okay, very apt. Okay, nah, these things happen in real life. Nah, I want to talk about real life. That's why I come on these live streams. I try to, like just reflect what's going on in the society. You know what I mean? Let's talk about real things. I mean, I ain't saying we can't have fun. I ain't saying we can't cut loose. But the reality is we have to reflect also too what's going on if we want to be realistic. Sometimes these conversations don't happen enough, and I don't want to be stuck in my own bubble. I don't want to just be sitting there, just leaning on my own understanding. People have different opinions on things and stuff that they want to express. But like I said, not to get too long-winded. Again, thank you to those folks that tuned in. Thank you to the people that will watch afterward. Thank you for the folks that have given me the thumbs up. Oh, you said not knowing the issue, not knocking. Okay, it's all good. But like I said, thank you again for the people that give me the thumbs up. Thank you for the people that watch. This part of the live stream is really for you. I don't want you to think it's lost. It's definitely appreciated. Every second, every minute that you watch, every comment that you give, every moment that you stop by, that you come in and out through bad connections, whether you can hear me or not, is greatly appreciated because you make this happen, not me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't expect all this. And I'm grateful. I'm definitely grateful. And hopefully we can have some more dope conversations. So on that note, like I said, if all hearts and minds are clear, I'm out.